Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Vaush is a guy on the internet. Vaush Video, notable equestrian thought leader and freewheeling socialist, sharing with all when it comes to robot-created child of a cartoon nature, has gained prominence on the internet for basically one reason only, and that was being a contentious prick who would say is psychotic shit in order to get attention. He would make references to child pornography. One of his most famous arguments, Coconut Island, revolves entirely around being sexually assaulted. The N-word, the tactical N-word, kind of goes without saying. This is a guy who basically trod on everyone in order to get ahead, right? One of the biggest reasons also that he's large is because Destiny, who was a much larger creator than him at the time, platformed him in debates and had debates with him and exposed him to Destiny's audience and Destiny's orbiter sphere, who Vaush also debated. Pretty much everybody that Vaush debated that's kind of famous, you know, a notorious debate up until like after like 2022-ish, are people who were in the immediate Destiny orbiter sphere. So like some people will think of Vaush's career as being this singular thing that Destiny's not necessarily a part of, but really like his debates with, you know, all these fucking individuals, tons and tons, Vegan Gains, all of them, are people that were from the DGG community. So like literally he would not have anything without literally nothing without fucking Destiny's community and without the post Blood Sports era debate scene. That's the only two things that made Vaush big. Everything else about him is pretty much completely worthless. He does not have a lot of education. He's not a particularly bright person. He's not particularly well spoken. He's constantly mispronouncing, not understanding the meanings of words. He's almost no comprehension of geopolitics on a global scale. He knows next to nothing about how politics work on a local scale or the national scale. Most of his content has been around saying, oh, this person's bad, and giving insanely stupid takes about random shit that got him rage bait clicks. But he is officially, apparently now, turning his back on the thing that made him big, which is kind of like finding out that, you know, a famous wrestler that was also a pedophile is permanently quitting wrestling after having not done it for 2 years. Well, technically he did it earlier this year. And we're going to watch the video and have him speak for himself on the issues. Hey, Shep, what's up, man? Always good to see you in chat.
I mean, my main issue with talking rhetoric is that I don't think most Republicans can be moved over at this point. I was more hopeful about that back in 2019, but genuinely at this point, in order to be enough of a Republican that you'll stand to defend your positions, you have to be really in the cult mindset. It doesn't make it impossible, and rhetoric is still important in life in general. You know, it's like it's a broadly useful skill, but the framework for teaching rhetoric, like, is usually been, how do I convince someone that I'm arguing with, or how do I like defend this position or whatever. But it's like, dude, I don't think I've seen a productive conversation with a Republican in any context between anyone and anyone else in years. When was
That's because he doesn't watch a lot of content. I have seen a lot of productive conversations with Republicans. I've even had some myself when I touched grass. This is cope. This is raw cope. Cope and cowardice from somebody who just really doesn't want to fucking do any extra work. There are tons of Republicans out there that want to have conversations and that are able to be swayed away from stuff. Most notably, Counterpoints is out there. Connor, who is kind of pushing away. Right now is actually one of the best times to possibly, especially as a larger person, be talking to conservatives, because there is a massive rift going in multiple different directions in the standard collection of people who all used to be like the pro-Trump 2016 crowd, willing or otherwise. That entire thing is falling the fuck apart during this election in front of everybody's eyes. If anything, this is one of the best times possible to be trying to have conversations with people on the right. Now, if you are a person who even individuals on your own side of the aisle are just constantly calling you a pedophile and a weirdo and a freak, it's going to be hard to have conversations with contentious individuals because they will probably bring up the fact that you engage in lolly pornography, and that would be difficult for you. And instead of trying to rise above that, giving up is way easier. So I can understand that decision. Now, I am very willing to have conversations with not even Republicans necessarily, but just any conservative. I really don't mind. And I'm getting into that, but I already have kind of like crossover with more conservative communities, and conservatives pop into my mentions and shit all the time. I have conservatives talk to me and they're like, "What? I don't like your politics, but I don't mind your existence." I.e., sort of like, I don't think that if somebody like you was in charge, it would be an annihilation of every single thing I held dear. And I think that's kind of where the conversation needs to go from here. This is why I really wanted to have this after the FD signifier thing. Is in Vaush's case, it's very much surrendering at a time where we needed somebody with a large platform to not be a fucking nonce on Maine, and then also engage in conversations with people who are kind of at a historic level of unsatisfied with the general Republican setup. This is a major issue with him. He's going to get into it, and he's going to repeat things that I said. Because I did pre-watch this a little bit, but this is stuff I've been saying about him the entire time. He's a clout fiend, a clout goblin. And he doesn't want to talk to people that are not famous. So what he's actually saying is, there's no reason for me to try to have conversations with people that I already know and that are famous and that even want to talk to me because of my reputation. It's a very small pool. There's no reason for me to do debates anyway. He does not want to talk to people that are smaller than him. It's in the rules on his website. And also included in this are just off rip, I guess, is just he doesn't want to talk to anybody that is already on his side of the fence that might have any sort of criticism for him, which is why he ran from the debate with me. If you don't know, I beat Vaush in a debate because he's stupid as fuck and he ran. And his community is still coping about it. As a matter of fact, a bunch of the haters that jumped on the Demon Mama train and the Groomer Defense League train don't even give a fuck about that. They just wanted to try to take pot shots at me because I fucked Vaush. And beat him in a debate over the stupidest thing because Vaush's debate tactics basically amount to, at this point, do no research, just try to call people unserious actors or say that they're only doing things for clout, which is projection on his part. And then try to make up points to argue and try to pivot the conversation to trying to make them sound ontologically evil, i.e., you don't have the perfect politics as espoused by my community or the perfect morality as espoused by my community, so I can just say that you're evil and then ignore you. He's a dipshit. He's lazy, he's stupid, and he's rich. And he is a bog standard, run-of-the-mill capitalist. He really just fucking is. He just doesn't think people should be richer than him. That's it. Vaush doesn't care about leftists because then he would be focused on building up the careers of other lefties underneath him and building bridges and reaching out and trying to organize with the proletariat. That's the point of leftism, is understanding the nature of the proletariat, its depredations, and trying to help them overcome that. Spreading out your fame and your clout, particularly when it's become poisonous anyway, and just trying to fucking build up other people would be a way better way to do things. If you are a leftist, Vaush is not, and basically probably has never really been a leftist. He's just a trans chaser. That's it. He chases transgender women. That's his claim to leftism. He's autistic and he wants to fuck trans chicks. Everything else is icing on the cake. He just doesn't like it when people are richer than him, which is literally he articulates in kind of his like welcome to the fucking scene debate with Destiny, which people are like, he's walked that back. I'm like, I don't know how he's walked it back when he still talks the exact same way and makes the exact same points. I don't think that people should be rich, and rich people that do this landlord shit should be, violence should be permissible against them. But I do have somewhat of a comfortable life, and I think there is a bit of a limit at the top of what should be considered too rich, i.e., no one should be richer than me. It's really Vaush's thing. Not nobody should be poorer than me, which is actually leftism. That's actual leftism. We shouldn't have people that are poorer than you. It's just, I don't want people that are richer than me. That is Vaush's approach to leftism. He's ostensibly maybe autistic. Who knows? He doesn't want people to be richer than him, and he wants to chase transgender chicks. That's the closest he's ever going to get to progressivism. Nothing else about him is in any way, shape, or form relative to action actually leftist. None of it. People's things that they say is most left about Vaush are he gives money to charities that are ostensibly progressive, which is the fucking conservative playbook of how to portend to morality while not actually doing anything. You're like, okay, so what did this lefty do to promote leftist values and leftist organization? Oh, he threw money at the problem. Oh, okay. So he did just what they do. Did it change anything? No. And he's not doing anything that'll actually like improve the lives of other people that are in his sphere, because he does see and articulate and values literal class differences between himself and people that he considers underneath him, which is why he uses the word uppity. He is not, never has been, never will be a leftist. He's not a valuable leftist speaker. He's never been a leftist. He just liked communism because there's an access to vanguardism, as far as I'm concerned, and he wants to kill people that irritate him or inconvenience him in any way. That's it. That's the whole thing. I unraveled it for you. Sorry. Prove me wrong. As a matter of fact, Vaush, if you want to debate me on it, you fucking pussy, I'm around. I don't care. I'll delete my channel. No, I won't. Oh my God. Killjoy says it's objectively bad not to talk to people who agree with you. The reason he does it, in my opinion, is he doesn't want people to be able to map out his real beliefs by triangulating it from debating others. Yeah, he doesn't want people to see him as possibly fallible because he doesn't actually have any background. He doesn't do research. He doesn't put shit together. He watches YouTube videos and repeats kind of wholesale whatever he hears. That's it. That's why his whole thing for a while was, we need video essayists so that I know what to think. He's a guy that talks about a fucking sociology bachelor's as though it gives him some sort of access to the dark knowledge at the center of the world. It's like, dude, you got a fucking wasteoid degree and ended up on YouTube. You never even fucking worked in your goddamn discipline. What are you talking about? I have a sociology degree. It was actually kind of one of the beginnings for me. I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? A sociology degree. You don't, as a sociologist, like, oh, okay, well, hold the fucking phone there, buddy.
Was the last time you guys saw that? I remember back in 2017, 2018, 2019, even 2020, pretty often you would see what looked like good faith Republicans sitting down and going, okay, well, I do have some concerns about the border, and I do think we should bring jobs back to America. And they would like have an argument. And it's like, okay, they're wrong and they've been fed bad info, but they're not some concerns about would see 17, 28 in years. When was the last time you guys saw that? I remember back in 2017, 2018, 2019, even 2020, pretty often you would see what looked like good faith Republicans sitting down and going, okay, well, I do have some concerns about the border, and I do think we should bring jobs back to America. And they would,
I have access I was there. He's describing the era of Ben Shapiro dunks, era of fucking Steven Crowder going to do the prove me wrong fucking things on college campuses. That is the era of Caitlin Bennett walking around trying to like get people into, I don't know if you know this, but you're being racist against white people. Like, it was objectively somehow even fucking worse because they were all just out there. It wasn't good faith. It was dipshits that were fucking fighting. It was a target-rich environment of morons who were just at a surface level engaging in fallacy. Like, and so it's easy to turn it around on them because the words they're saying don't even follow an argument. And so now that's gone. None of them are good faith. Charlie Kirk, you made Charlie Kirk was good faith. Rob Knorr's good faith, better faith in 2019. I'm pretty sure Knorr was around then. Like, who are the people from 2019 that were better faith? Where was this blip on the internet where we went from the fucking Tonkasol Worski blood sports era to, let's all have a very civil conversation? Because I'm 99% sure you called somebody, you said the N-word during a debate to try to suss out the racism of the other people that were talking to you. What are you fucking talking about? Like, it's on video. What the fuck is he talking about? Booby Pants Bennett. Yeah. Is Booby Pants Bennett still around nowadays? No, she actually fucking stuck to her morals and became a trad calf. And she's barefoot, pregnant, and off camera somewhere. She fucking lived her truth and gave up on her personal career to go shit out kids, which I kind of think is respectable if gross.
Would like have an argument. It's like, okay, they're wrong and they've been fed bad info, but they're not crazy. They just have bad info. I haven't seen anything like that in years. And that's not an exaggeration. I genuinely can't remember the last time I saw that. I know it happens. I know it's not literally
true.
Impossible, but man,
literally not true.
Things have changed like badly. Maybe godforsaken, but
what is that delivery? That's the delivery of a guy that's lying. You remember how this dude used to talk before he had to fucking lie through his teeth all the goddamn time? Who talks like this and they're telling the truth? Let me just... We're doing JCPS body language. JCS. You can see that they got... Hold on. I think I actually have a fucking voice for this. You can see... Hold on. Is it this one? You can see... You can see the suspect is now... You can see the suspect is now getting ready to lie. Notice the wide open eyes, the searching, needing somebody to believe the thing that even he knows inside his heart is not true. He's going to continue darting his eyes around as he continues to lie.
And that's not an exaggeration. I genuinely can't remember the last time I saw that. I know it happens.
You can see in this part where he remembered a time that it did happen. He's now trying to pretend that that time didn't happen, and he's hoping that nobody notices.
I know it's not literally impossible, but
you can see in that moment, the second that the word literally true gets frozen, but he doesn't let it get past his lips. He's dedicated to the lie, and he's not going to let it go.
Man, things have changed. Like,
this is an appeal to the internal... This is an appeal to the sensibilities of the viewer. Now he's gone past providing any evidence, and he wants you to think that this is crazy because the respect you feel for him is going to be the respect you feel for yourself.
Badly. Maybe godforsaken, but I mean, rhetoric is very, very important. Very, very important. Being able to argue well, it's not just something that you do in political debates. It helps you in interpersonal arguments, not because you're trying to epically own the opponent, but because understanding what everyone's saying and how to engage with it is just generally useful. Like, that's not like, it doesn't even need to be an antagonistic skill. It's just a communication skill. It has applications all across the spectrum of human communication. So it's still important. It's just difficult. Unironically, make more videos about rhetoric though. Okay, to be clear, all of my videos are about rhetoric to the extent that they all contain rhetoric, right? Like what
does that mean?
When I make an argument, I don't need to say, this is how you make the argument. If I'm making the argument, that's an example of the argument that one might point to, or at least that I would point to, as an example of what I think good rhetoric is, you know?
Why did they edit this together and put it out? That's so fucking funny. It's like, hey man, how did you hit that layup? Well, I just watch me do a layup and then do that. You know what I mean? It's so weird. Like, could you teach me how you do this thing that you're good at? Well, just watch me do it and then do what I do. Like, literally, he cannot teach you. He has no idea. It would make more sense if it was a physical skill, because those are always hard to teach. You know, you got to get used to it and practice. He's just like, I literally have no idea what I'm thinking when I make an argument. Or maybe he knows the truth and it's like, well, there's two things you do. You either impugn the person's honor, either do sophistry and attack the individual and say that they can't make the argument through a series of ad homs. And if you can't get the ad homs to work, hang up. One of the best things you can do is never listen to anything the person's saying, except for if they say one word that you think you can attach to a important social cause that is a real bugbear issue for your audience. Now, it doesn't even have to be very close to it. Any word, even just the phrase like women can't. Women can't. What do you mean women can't? Women can't do what? Are we a misogynist now? Latch on to that and try to completely derail the debate into making the person defend not the substance of their argument, but rather their moral persuasion towards something, which is going to be fucking impossible for you to do if they are more lefty than you. So at that point, do the sane thing and slap that eject button. Have that eject button ready. It's red and it has a little phone shape in the middle of it.
If only debate wasn't dead. I haven't gone over it yet because it's meant to be one of the things that I go over that I keep not going over, because yesterday I was pooped because I had just gotten back from the hike in Mount Rainier, and today I'm exhausted because I have a headache and so on and so forth. Let me show you why I just don't care about debating and frankly just don't have any interest.
Does nobody else find it funny where people are like, can you explain to me how to form an argument? Which is the easiest shit, like literally just, okay, so what happen is people will say something to you, okay? And it should follow a logical conclusion. They'll make an argument. It'll have premises and a conclusion. The premises need to support the conclusion. So when someone's making the argument, you should need to understand, and you can even ask them how those premises lead to the conclusion. If either of the premises are false, okay, or the ways that the premises are related to the conclusions don't follow, then the argument is going to be fallacious. It doesn't mean that the argument is a lie or that they're lying. It just means that the argument is not a full argument. And so you can stop and talk about that and you can pick the argument apart. It's basic rhetoric. Predicate logic. It's the fundamental facts of how truth works, okay? And then you can get into predicate logic. Look up predicate logic. Just look it up. Someone's probably got a really easy course on it. It's hyper simplistic. They've been doing it since the Greek era. This is where all argumentation comes from. Sophistry, the Socratic method, everything comes from basically the establishment of predicate logic in multiple forms. Other countries and discipline have variants of this because it just is it's an emergent characteristic of how to describe reality. So it just comes up again and again and again and again. If you are English language, like if you're from the Anglophone world, you're going to want to do the Greek version of it because the Greek roots of words and how that shit's constructed leads more than likely directly to concepts and words that you're going to use. I wouldn't try to learn the version of predicate logic from like China or anything, because unless you are very dedicated to understanding how Chinese work, it's probably a little bit different. Logic proofs are boring, but it's not hard. That's the thing. So in logic, once you have that set up, there's a bunch of different ways that they can work. Algorithms are an aspect of logic. We know when you talk about computer logic is based on predicate logic. It's the same fucking setup, basically. Machines are even more dedicated to it because they have to have like literally the true false stuff going on, right? So if thing is X, then thing is Y. Thing is Y, so thing is X. Like that's a algorithmic connection, right? If thing is X, blah, 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 thing is X, blah, 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 that actually might not be. No, I think that's correct. Yeah, that's the circle, the loop one. That's the same as an algorithm. If then is algorithm. If then statements. I'm a little bit confused. Go watch somebody that knows how to explain it to you. But basically, the premises have to be true and they have to support the conclusion. Supporting the conclusion, those are the two things, all right? You have to have both. And support the conclusion. Supporting the conclusion is where your fallacies come from, okay? So it's fallacious, as in the argument does not follow. Those are where ad homs, no true Scotsman, there's like 19 or whatever traditional fallacies and a bunch of non-traditional fallacies. But basically, you have the logic. The logic train doesn't actually mean that these premises will support the conclusion, right? So if somebody says two truthful things, right? You are from Chicago, or at least one truthfully. You're from Chicago. People from Chicago don't know anything about Cincinnati because Cincinnati is different from Chicago, okay? So therefore, you don't know anything about Cincinnati. The premises don't actually follow because that doesn't make sense. That's not provable. The second one's fallacious. It's way too many chunks inside the fucking predicate, whatever. Basically, it doesn't follow because it doesn't actually make fucking sense because that doesn't actually follow. I keep saying the same things over again. It's very simple. Trying to explain it from the outside without a graph is actually difficult as shit. You're supposed to write these out. If you start writing them out, it's way fucking easier. I can do it on the fly while I'm thinking. Trying to explain it without having like my mental graph laid out is kind of hard because you do end up using the same words. When you actually articulate it out, it looks like computer programming. So it's like, okay, so X is Y, but X is only Y when Y is +2 + 1 + 2 1 2. You know, thus because Y is 1 + 2 1 1 1 2 1 1, therefore true. You know what I mean? And you're ultimately trying to get the last thing to be true false. Or then you can also have conditional logic on top of that, which is insanely complicated. But even conditional logic setups are still made out of the same base parts. That's basic rhetoric. Rhetoric is understanding how to form arguments from predicate logic in your language of choice, and how to affect or basically put how to affect the conversation in a way to buttonhole your opponent into agreeing with you through either eliminating their access to counter arguments by basically saying like, well, I've proven that these things are not true, your premises are untrue, so blah 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 blah, or by using in the sophists method by attacking the arguer themselves because the arguer is not permissible to it's not because of the conditions of who they are permissible to argue these things, right? Which is not good solid logic, but sophistry works in subjective logic connection. There's subjective arguments because if you have stuff like tukoke, which is where most people on the internet like to live, is in the hypocrisy world, right? So I am making this argument because I am morally pure. Then you can do sophistry because attacking the individual is inherent to the argument because the individual's argument is that they are pure. Or that they are like whatever. So they are a good person. They are good at thing. They do thing valuably. You can say tukoke, basically like, okay, how can you make this argument if you are pure? If I can prove that you are impure, you are not what you say you are. So then sophistry works. Sophistry is necessary for certain subsections of argumentation and rhetoric. Okay, but have you heard Vaush's infamous Coconut Island argument? Yes. Way too much to talk about. I took an entire college course on this, and it was very hard but extremely interesting. Computer programmers, literally, if you can do computer programming, you already do way more advanced predicate logic. You can append computer programming to your conversation and still basically arrive at the same conclusions. Greatest fake. Thank you for the super chat. $20. Symbolic logic is a really good way to practice that argument structure. Yes. Syllogistic, syllogisms, syllogistic construction. Venn diagrams come from this. Venn diagrams are directly related to how this comes up, right? I would have to do an entire day of predicate logic. I'm getting way into the fucking weeds here, but you should look it up. If you're interested in this at all and you want to learn more about it, look it up. There's people that teach it for a living. And people that do computer programming can honestly probably get you right in the same ballpark, because with computer programming, you have to have everything be correct. The argument has to be correct, otherwise you have bugs. Bugs in computer programming are logical fallacies, IRL. Basically the same thing.
Rest in doing it, okay? Look at this. This is one of the things I'll do a segment on when I finally get around to it, okay?
Republican governor and Republican Secretary of State in the state of Georgia.
What's your name? You said Parker?
My name's Parker. We have a Republican governor and Republican Secretary of State in Georgia that proved our elections, and Donald Trump said that wasn't constitutional.
Right,
Donald Trump tried to undermine our Constitution.
You're 10. I just walked in. I'm here to just learn.
Hey, you're an anti-patriotic, anti-constitutional person crashing our party.
So
you
so
tried to stop our democracy.
I got one question.
Donald Trump called the Secretary of State of Georgia and told him to find him some votes.
What is a woman?
Oh my God. That is so weird, y'all. Maybe you should meet one.
I'm married to one.
Same.
And that's why I just don't care anymore. Charlie Kirk is one of the faces of the Republican movement. I debated him for 2 hours and I won. I dog walked him. He spent 20 minutes being aggro, and when he realized it wouldn't work, the rest of it was me giving an educational lesson to him and Tim Pool's audience. Now he hears 30 seconds of completely correct talking points, and then he blusters back to a thought-terminating cliche that he has no interest in engaging with or answering. If I debated Charlie Kirk now, rather than 2 hours of me dog walking him, it would be 5 minutes of whatever the subject was meant to be, and then he
Also, Vaush says dog walking in this, which is my word. I don't know, maybe he said it before me. This is wrong. I think the kid came in too hot, which is fine, because he was like, "Oh shit, this is my chance. I'm gonna fucking yell at Charlie Kirk." But that kid was fine. He did rhetoric. That's the thing, though. He did rhetoric and he won. Like, I don't know. I don't understand what I won't debate conservatives. Like, he debated Charlie Kirk right there. Charlie Kirk already has stated positions that exist in real life, and he fucking obliterated him. The kid fucking annihilated him because he argued against Charlie Kirk's stated beliefs. Charlie Kirk doesn't have to say anything. And then all he was left with at the end was, what's a woman? Like, he coped. He won the debate in 10 seconds. It's fucking awesome. That would be great. It's good content. It would be funny to see that kid get down to the weeds with Charlie Kirk. But it doesn't support Vaush's premise at all. Wait, you couldn't get 2 hours of conversation out of a guy you already have 2 hours of conversation with, and neither of your positions have moved at all since you last talked? Yeah, probably wouldn't be great content. But you also don't know necessarily that he would go immediately for the thought-terminating cliche. Also, it's not a thought-terminating cliche. Just go into the fucking what is a woman argument. Practice it out, fucking flowchart it, and then fucking start sticking with him on it. Like, this, somebody says something and now we can't have an argument anymore is like dumb as shit. It's you shouldn't let them have even that. They shouldn't be comfortable with the what is a woman thing. Go pop off into that subsection. Go get into that fight. That sounds awesome. Just move into the next fucking start. What? Who gives it? He won. That's why he said that. That's why he moved on to the next topic. The kid had him dead to rights on everything, so he had to move to the one last thing he had. And then the kid was just like, I'm bored, and I said my piece. I'm gonna roll. Like, he literally George Costanza'd him. He went out on top. I'm gonna go out on top. He fucking left. I'm married to one. Me too. Okay, I guess we're both married. Fuck off. Now Charlie Kirk is shaking. He fucked him up for the rest of the day. Charlie Kirk's literally living through the 4chan meme, the shower thoughts. If I just had a second, I would fucking blow that kid out. I would have destroyed him.
He would say, "Oh well, what am I? Oh yeah, well, how about this? What's a woman?" And then I would have to go, "Do you actually want to get into that, or was that just your attempt at escaping the topic?" And then he'd say, "Like, oh well, what is a woman?" And then that would be the rest of it. There would be there is no discussion anymore. Nothing exists. Nothing matters. What is a chair? Can you imagine debating someone and then you ask them any question? They're like, "What is a chair?" What is a chair? Go ask Socrates, dipshit. Like, there's no point. That no one wants to have a conversation. If Tim invited you back, would you go at this point? No. I know.
I think you're supposed to say ask Diogenes, right? Or we going back to the what is a man, what is a chicken?
Well, I've turned down plenty of debate. No, I'm genuinely, my interest in, I don't want to do things I'm not interested in. If the sauce isn't there, what would it be? There's no longer an interest. No matter how good you are at debate, you always need both sides to be invested in doing it. Like, if I showed up for a debate and they just made like farting noises with their mouth, I can't make a good point in that environment. It requires two people engaging with some standard of mutual competency. It's just unfun. Like, it's not even a matter of performing well. It's just unfun.
Bro, I'm here. You want to fucking have a rematch? We can talk about how ugly your fucking wardrobe is. I'm around. Nick D gifted 10 goose subs. Thank you very much, Nick D. The issue is Vaush can't just win against fucking chuds. It's the chud. This is the chud dunking complex. He's also just too proud to admit the fact that he won, mostly because he was arguing against idiots. And he says he's never been humbled or dog walked, but he's been obliterated in fucking debates. I don't know if we got to that yet. He looked like shit during the Brianna Joy Gray thing. And Brianna Joy Gray should have been a fucking easy out. But he found out the thing that he's going to find out again and again and again. It's why he has to stop doing this. And that is, he can't win debates because his fucking reputation precedes him, and he's doing stupid shit like calling black women subhuman and saying the N-word hard R and not apologizing for it or trying to like walk away from it and doing all those CP arguments and trying to like hand wave them as being like a good thing instead of just admitting like it's fucking cringe. You know, it's cringe. I did it. It's cringe. I feel fucking ashamed of how stupid it was. No, he tries to fucking like have his cake and eat it too at every time. And now he's full of cake. He's caked up. He's caked up. I made my wife laugh. And so like he's got nowhere to go because his reputation precedes him, and he's already like pre-burned bridges before walking across them in the case of those people. Anybody that wants to do blood sports with him has a fucking like preloaded shotgun with 8 fucking rounds pointed at him to start firing the second he gets into it. And Vaush gets fucking ass mad now. He gets ass mad as fuck. I guess he maybe always got a little bit heated and excited during debates, but he got fucking ass mad. I pissed him the fuck off because I wasn't letting him do dumb rhetorical shit in our 10-minute, 16, 17-minute, whatever the fuck debate. And he got ass mad and fucking hung up. Like he's a fucking pussy now because he's rich. He got what he wanted, and now he's going to pull the fucking ladder up behind him like every fucking capitalist has before, and he's done. He's done with you. He's not helping you out anymore. There is no version of what the good guy Vaush could have been doing, which is like, okay, we're going to have a rhetorical thing. He could be doing like segments where he runs through, as a matter of fact, if you do this, you can be forgiven. If you just stop the bad behavior, it ends. I'm giving you a path forward. I'm not trying to fucking permanently end you. Although it's going to end like that if you just continue down the same path. What I want from him, what he could be doing, is having like little lefties. Never be nice to me. I don't want you to ever be, we're enemies. We'll die enemies. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Don't offer me any of these opportunities. Other little tiny baby lefties, you could bring them on and do fucking mock court with them. You know what I mean? Mock debates. Where you pick up the right-wing side of stuff and you teach people rhetoric. You teach people, okay, stop here. So what he did right there, and this is where I wanted to go, this is why he did this. This is how he did this. This is the argument he made. My opinion is because we did this research that he's going to go here, 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 here. I want to head him off at this point so that he can't try to hold this as a moral prerogative, and I want to mention this thing first so that he can't, as I've seen him do in multiple other debates, say, well, why aren't you bringing this thing up? I did this kind of research and I did this. And so what I want to see from you, if you go into this next debate, I want to see you a little bit calmer. I want to see you do this. I want to see you try to do this sort of stuff. Your research should be focused here. I'm going to do a debate review, stuff like that. That's how Vaush could help people. He's bad actually at debate now because the scene moved on without him because he stayed out of it. And now people are good at it in a different way that he can't fucking deal with. And also like, yeah, the Republicans have moved on to either saying psycho shit that you can't fucking deal with, but also if you don't do any research, you can't deal with it. But I've listened to Destiny's having debates with the people he says you can't debate with and doing fine. Destiny was talking to Dick Masterson last night, who is stupid as fuck. Dick Masterson's like legitimately fucking brain dead, raw ass old internet stupid. Like it's fucking kind of awesome because he's fucked because now he's like 5 generations past where his shit would make sense. Dick Masterson's from the like, dude, knowing about politics is gay. But he can't say that anymore because it's like past TOS and no one cares and everyone's gay now. So he's just like, yeah, man, I don't know. Ukraine, I just heard that bad things are happening in Ukraine. I just don't want to see people die. I don't know. Maybe you should just give up. Well, what I heard was this. And he's like, oh, no, that's not true. Actually, if you look it up, this is true. He's like, well, I don't know if that's necessarily like, I don't know where you could even get those facts. You get them from right here. These are where you get the facts from. If you look at like this report and this report, you find out there's this treaty that was signed, and actually if they gave this, or like this is why we have to do this. Oh, okay, well, I don't know, but fucking, and then eventually like Dick Masterson politely, without having to like it be a giant dunk, takes the L. He's like, all right, well, I don't know. I guess you maybe got some points on this. And it shows like, okay, hey, you're his audience. He doesn't really know what he's fucking talking about, but we can still be friends. Because then they move on to talking about like, hey, if you could have anybody on here for blood sports back in the day, who would you want to see back for blood sports? Ralph Retort, Tonka Saul, this guy, that guy. Did you know that this individual is a pedophile now? Oh, everyone's not surprised. Like that's what you could be doing. Like you could do shit like that. You could like literally do it right now. I'm pretty sure like if you stop being a pussy for 5 fucking seconds and learn how to take a fucking L because you're so scared of like falling off your horse that you're stapled to it now. Too many puns at once. You could go and be on fucking Destiny's show and people would watch the fuck out of that. It would be good content. You can make money, but you're so fucking scared of like being fucking schooled on, and you have no goddamn personality because you don't talk to anybody except for financially obligated to be nice to you fucking trans people that you chase. Like, you're conversationally in dead water. You have no hobbies, you have no understanding of how the world works, and you're fucked up. And all you have to do is literally open your social circle, end the Fortress arc. Don't ever talk to me. I don't want to fucking talk to you about this shit. That's fine. But literally almost anyone else. Rebuild your bridge with fucking Xander Hall and ask Xander Hall about Minecraft. Get a fucking hobby that makes fucking sense. Literally leave your fucking box and talk to people so that you can grow an adult personality that's based on something more complicated than sex and 19-year-olds' understandings of politics. And then you too can, if Destiny is having charismatic, interesting conversations with people, anybody can. Anybody can. Anybody can. I never thought I would listen to Destiny talking to somebody in conversation where he wasn't being mean and I would be absolutely fucking interested, but I am. He's got great fucking rapport with the hat guy, Dan the hat guy, who they make fun of each other in a way that's natural to them. It's not put on, and I actually enjoy it. I don't always listen to everyone. And sometimes they have a guest on that's actually very interesting to listen to. It was them with Dick Masterson. Dick Masterson's a fucking idiot. Like, legitimately, wonderfully old internet stupid, but it was a good conversation. They all talked. They all laughed. A lot of it was very interesting to listen to. You could also do this. It is not impossible. You and Hassan could also be doing shit like this, but you don't, because you're fucking scared to death of your own shadows, because you've all been fucking hyper fucking controversial and contentious with people, and now you're all fucking scared of getting fucking cracked back because you've never been fucking attacked in a way that you couldn't just hang up. And so now you're fucking scared of going and talking to people, which is literally what it feels. I saw you at Progressive Victory. You have this stage presence of a literal mollusk. Fucking Dreg just sat there and stunted on you by literally just looking like the Creed guy. Fucking literally just doing autistic, stimming Creed, fucking me in the 1990s pretending to be the Creed guy every time the wind blew and I had an unbuttoned shirt and an undershirt on. Arms wide open. And you got wrecked because you have no fucking personality. You can fix all of these things. All of them. You can become the Vaush that everyone is not like, why is he at the bar again? Why is he here? You could become that, but you're not going to, because you keep coping and doing this shit. And even if you never change, I don't care. I don't want your fucking audience to think that this is an okay way to deal with the difficulties of becoming a fucking pariah in your immediate work circle of other people who are all like, wow, kind of crazy that you do all this pedophilia shit and never fucking talk about it. And you've closed yourself off to criticism and you don't talk to anyone except for your weird crew of fans who want to donate money to talk about circumcision and sex shit and sexually harass you. That's fucking weird. It's weird. It's weird. And it's only getting weirder because you are literally creating one of those bottle, you pour swamp water in a fucking big jug and put a cap on it. It turns into a mini swamp. That's what you've done. You're creating a mini swamp biosphere of nothing but fucking mosquitoes and blood-sucking leeches, and that's what your community is becoming because you don't fucking deal with them because you're terrified that if you let them go, you'll never get any new ones because that means you have to open the door, and so you're in a permanent downward death spiral of bad content and stolen content, and eventually we're going to get to fucking chair streams and cope streams, and one day you'll be desperate and you'll pick up the phone and it'll be Keemstar and he'll say, hey man, it's me, it's Killer Keemstar, and it's 2035. Are you ready to star on LolCal Live? We're bringing the show back. You can have that moment where you're like, I think Tipster is one of the most supportive human beings on earth.
Fun. All of the rhetorical skills that I'm interested in, meaningless. You just scream your sound bites. That's it. Remember the debate between Moist Critical and Sneeko, where Moist Critical was objectively correct and reasonable the entire time, and Sneeko was like interspersing bad arguments with being pro pedophilia. And after that, every right-wing account on Twitter was like, yo, Sneeko just owned Moist Critical on trans kids or whatever. No one cares. Nothing matters. This is what.
Because fucking Sneeko owned Moist Critical in that debate. It sucks to say, yeah. Critical should not be doing debates. Moist Critical is a fence rider. You know, I have to agree with, I think, who was I listening? I think it was Chris the Narc was talking about this. It might have been, no. It was Chud Logic. Chud Logic was talking about this. Chris, and I ended up listening to the debate after the fact. Moist Critical was too fucking cocky. Moist Critical was cocky. He had made fun of Sneeko once off stream, and another time he had threatened Sneeko after Sneeko had made a video, and then Meat Canyon said fucking based fucking Moist Critical and make a whole cartoon out of it. And Moist Critical got in his own fucking ass and was way too fucking confident and went in unprepared and got fucking dog walked by a fucking troll. Like literally old school blood sports troll debate. Sneeko doesn't care that he's a pedophile. He doesn't care. It's part of his character. You can't say, Sneeko, you fucking pedophile piece of shit. Stop being a pedophile. He's like, no, I literally converted to the one religion that I believe will let me do it. He does not care about that. So you can't use that argument. If you did a little bit of research, you would know it. Fucking Charlie went in unprepared and got fucking, like, literally stepped on a landmine, and he should be a little embarrassed, and then he can go back to doing Charlie shit. Charlie shouldn't have been doing debates. It wasn't like a really good a person that's solid at debate, monstrous debater, you know what I mean, went to Sneeko and then fucking like dog walked him, and Sneeko was sputtering and red-faced and slobbering and screaming slurs and losing his mind. Sneeko just fucking, man, I don't give a fuck, blah, 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 blah. So what you're saying is, a 9-year-old can't get married, but a 9-year-old can make a medical decision, a major medical decision. And Charlie's like, yes, I can. Like fucking, you know, and he got fucking, he got put into a bad rhetorical situation because all Sneeko does is hang out with these fucking weirdos that make these arguments, and they fucking teach him how to flow chart arguments. Like every conservative knows how to do that's worth their salt as an interlocutor. They flow chart the argument. The only way to stop the flow chart is to literally know how it works and put a big fucking stake down there so they can't flow chart into the next chunk. That's it. Like, and Charlie doesn't know that. I don't even blame Charlie for that. He's just, I blame him for being too self-confident and thinking that he could have a conversation with somebody that he clearly hasn't been paying enough attention to, and it's going to 100% go his way. He just was not prepared. He's fine. He's still like a multi-millionaire and the fucking owner of a massive esports league, and his stream is so successful, he's got an automated claw machine in like the back. He's going to be okay. But the thing is that's not proof that debate doesn't work, because Sneeko tried to do the same fucking debate with Destiny and got smacked. I think he's tried to do it like 2 or 3 times now where he called in to like Destiny, like try to surprise him and shit, and got fucking smacked. It's not hard to win that debate if you're prepared for it, because if you're right, then all you have to do is be right, beat the 5 or 6 rhetorical tricks, and then be okay. But it does require research. And yeah, nowadays, just raw calling somebody a pedophile after they admitted being a pedophile because the goddamn Overton window has moved in strange ways and broken in places does not work the same way that it did in 2015, unfortunately, okay? You can't just Amos Yee people, because now you can just argue via live stream from Romania or Saudi Arabia and just say, yeah, fuck it, yeah, bro, I'm into 12-year-olds, whatever the fuck. Nasty shit. I think Charlie said that he thought it was an off-stream conversation, but Sneeko streamed anyway. I don't know if that's true. I would just immediately, like, if you know anything about Sneeko, I would his name is Sneeko. I think that's a sufficient response, actually. His name is Sneeko. And he's a rat fuck. Everybody knows Sneeko's a little rat fuck, okay? So, like, just expect him to do rat fuck shit. He's going to do rat fuck Sneeko shit. Expect it, anticipate it, and deal with it. But like, if you're not in that world and that world sneaks up on you, it will fucking obliterate you. But everybody loves a little blood sports, which is really what that was. It wasn't a debate. It was blood sports. Because that's what Sneeko wanted to fucking bring it down to, and Charlie wasn't ready, and he got fucking like that's old school shit. Honestly, like, you know, people calling in, so I heard you had some issues with me on the internet, and I'd like to talk to you about it. And somebody's just like, hey, so what about this fucking blah, 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 blah. I've been doing 20 hours of research on you, and it seems that in 2002 you said you would fucking do this. Like what's happening now? You gotta be ready.
What I mean about no unity. How do you form unity with that? It's only power. They don't care about anything else. They'll do or say.
Hey, yeah, no opinionated. Why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for too long now. Oh, you're a hard one. But I know you got your reasons. The heart is a sea. I can't remember the rest of it. That's fucking Desperado.
Anything. They don't believe in anything. Anti-empiricism is a core tenet of fascism. Once you free yourself from the burden of
Online, maybe if you said you're on a PDF and IRL, you'd rightly get smacked. Well, obviously, yeah. For sure. Hopefully, goddamn. Hopefully, you're around some real, some true humans. You know what I mean? But the context is, it is online. It's a debate, or you know what? It's going to be a conversation with Sneeko. You're Charlie, moist critical. You had I don't know if you know this. This isn't a clip. This is a magazine. This is a clip. You know what I mean? You already know you have a contentious relationship with the guy. You basically turned him into you're basically like fucking Batman meeting a Batman villain, and realizing for the first time it was the guy you threw into the sludge. The cuties thing came out. Moist Critical threw this creature into the sludge. He talked to him one other time, and now he came back with full Joker makeup on. It's just like, I need you to leave my city. I'm not gonna leave your city. You know what I mean? Fucking full villain.
and after that, every right-wing account on Twitter was like, yo, Sneeko just
Actually, and it's kind of funny. It's the debate. I just think that's a ridiculous debate to even engage in. Because, I mean, what would Sneeko say? What would Sneeko say to Vaush? I'm not even going to say it out loud. What would Vaush's response to Sneeko saying that Sneeko thinks you should be able to marry 8-year-olds? What would he say? What ground would Vaush have to stand on?
owned Moist Critical on trans kids or whatever. No one cares. Nothing matters. This is what I mean about no unity. How do you form unity with that? It's only power. They don't care about anything else. They'll do or say anything. They don't believe in anything. Anti-empiricism is a core tenet of fascism. Once you free yourself from the burden of having to actually believe in something and hold to that position, you can do or say anything. And I just have no interest in engaging with it. The Hippie Dippy Revival was such a great example of why debate is stupid. Actual Justice Warrior was just straight up engaging in pedantic trolling with a stupid grin on his face the entire time, to the point where even Destiny was about to leave a few times. The right doesn't believe in truth anymore. There's no point. None of them.
That's also ridiculous. It's like there's people on the right that do believe in truth. It really just is the case. Okay, there's people on the left that don't believe in truth anymore. There's people people don't give a fuck about what's true or not. If they have deep, like, moral beliefs that they feel cannot or should not be shaken, they will ignore the truth of reality, right? Which is happening all the time with the Israel-Palestine thing on both sides of it. People would just be like, oh no, I'm going to believe it. I don't give a fuck what happened. I'm going to believe it. It's not a left, right, center issue. People will just delude themselves into believing what they need to think and feel so that they feel secure in, like, something that's more morally important to them than the truth. That's just a natural state of things. And the actual Justice Warrior thing is still ongoing. It's actually kind of proof positive that debate's good, because, yeah, okay, actual Justice Warrior didn't admit he was wrong in it, but it's turned into like a fucking, what now, week-long cycle? God damn, it was only just, no, yeah, a week and a half long cycle of actual Justice Warrior looking like an asshole and doing cope stream after cope stream after cope stream after cope stream and cope posting. And basically everybody in the DGG circle looking up his shit and being like, yeah, he's always like this. He's a fucking liar. He's a hypocrite. He's a piece of shit. It actually fucked actual Justice Warrior's entire shit up. Like, he's still suffering from it. Like, time moves on past the debate. It's like, okay, well, his performance didn't immediately, like every panelist didn't just stand up. FD Signifier's right. Like, literally correct about this kind of mentality, that it's like, well, I need a dunk. Everybody on the debate panel didn't stand up from their seats and weeping applaud Destiny when he dunked on him. And then actual Justice Warrior does the Sorkin thing, which he goes, you know, like, that's how a dunk ends in fucking Sorkin. That's what Vaush wants. He wants a fucking fairy tale conclusion to a ongoing conversation that will never end until everyone that's having it is either dead or bored and have moved on. The rhetoric is about fucking framing them up. Actual Justice Warrior is so fucking trapped in how bad his rhetoric is that he is continuously cope posting about the net he tied around himself. He can't talk about other shit now. He literally can't have other conversations. It all has to be about Destiny's people are lying about me. Destiny is bad faith. I am actually good at arguing. I am not completely lying out of my ass again and again and again. It's like the worst thing to bring up. Of all the things that you should have talked about, my hippy dippy recruitment fucking being an absolute shit show. But people were even still pretty like chill and conciliatory, even though it was a 4v4 and it was absolute chaos some of the times. People had fun. It was a good little fucking content cycle, you know? First off, stop blowing up every little tiny argument that happens on the internet to being like, this is how we are going to represent the future in America or the world. You know what I mean? It's an online internet debate. The stakes, first off, aren't that high. So if the conclusion isn't establishing communism in America at the end of the debate, I don't think that that's a loss. You know what I mean? It's just absolute fucking... It's absolute fucking cope on his part and just trying to find every single like tiny little handhold that he can grasp in order to try to pretend that like this isn't just him being a bitch. It's fine to be afraid of getting into arguments now because people are going to make fun of you and you'll probably lose. You could just say that. If you just said it, I wouldn't have anything to say. I wouldn't say anything. Maybe other people would be, but then they would also get sick of it. Because if you would just admit your shortcoming, there's no reason to try to fucking lolcow people. It just ends. Just like, oh yeah, man, I fucked that up real bad. That was like embarrassing as shit. It just ends. It's over. Didn't Vaush's debate with Mr. Girl go similarly to Charlie and Sneeko's debate? I think so. I don't know. Someone else just said no underneath it. I remember that one, and I remember it being way too uncomfortable and Vaush not pushing back at the right times. I remember that one being one of the ones. I'm surprised more people don't bring up the Vaush Mr. Girl thing, because the one thing I remember from that is Vaush not knowing how to push back against the most disgusting but obviously like obvious hypothetical. Mr. Girl's hypothetical is if there was a strip club with extremely young people, young all the way to babies and then all the way to like old elderly women, like where do you think the average guy would fall? Do you think they would go to one that had like 16-year-olds and stuff in it? And Vaush couldn't fucking like just absolutely like you could feel the brain fog set in because he didn't know where to go from that, because I don't think he's ever had someone out disgusting him in a debate, so he didn't know what to do. The answer is, well, yeah, there's pedophiles, so like the average would be dragged down way too much, but like generally people would go to the strip club that has like the same age of people that are in it now. Like, yeah, I guess if we don't kill all the pedophiles, and like, yeah, if you asked every guy, there would be fucking weirdos that drag the average down too much. We should probably get rid of them. We should probably put them in a fucking wood chipper. I feel like that's the answer. It's a monstrous answer, right? But like, yeah. I think it's gross that the number would be that low. I think some people should get pills put in them. Tyler, Mr. Girl literally used his own hypothetical against Vaush, and Vaush had to hang up the call. Oh, he had to fucking hang up about that too. Maybe Mr. Girl knew about the folder. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. He sensed him. They sense each other. They got a special handshake, those types.
There is not a single right-leaning figure out there who would engage in a debate and be embarrassed if they performed poorly. In order for a person to be embarrassed that they performed poorly, there had to be any expectation whatsoever that they were going to participate in a meaningful way. That means not only are the participants, the pundits themselves, disinterested, their audiences are too. Nobody cares. It's all trolling at every level. I mean, when I went on Hippy Dippy, like, I don't know, 8 months ago or whatever, the only time the conversation boomed was when Alex Stein came over to sexually harass people in the call, and then people said he was awful, and then he just smiled and nothing mattered. Nothing matters. None of it matters. Nothing matters. There's no argument for or against. There's no point. You could deliver the best possible point. What, your audience agrees with you? Their audience doesn't. There's no way of moving over anyone because they don't come to that thinking... It's not like the old Sargon days where there are fans of Sargon of Akkad who think that he like has a correct point that other people aren't willing to... It's a different era. I think, I talk conservatives down.
How do you... What does that even mean? People's fans just agree with them. They just do. They do. There's dipshits in his fucking entire goddamn community is full of people that think that things are true because Vaush has said them. And that's it. I have to watch out for that in my community. That's just part of being about having a community. That's why I'm constantly telling you guys to go fucking prove me wrong, double check shit, do extra additional research from experts, because I know you will believe things that I have said simply because I said them, and you like the tone of my voice, you like how confident I am, you like what I've done in my past, you think I'm good looking, you will just you'll just believe what the fuck I said. That's why I tell you to go double check. That's for everybody. That's one of the best reasons to do debates, is to break that confidence that other people have in their creators. It's one of the things he's most afraid of, because Vaush gets by on confidence games more than he gets by on good rhetoric, which is why when people take away his confidence, he's got nothing anymore. He can't argue from knowledge. He doesn't do research. And so, like, he's got nothing. You know what I mean? He used to. And he did really good in those. I'm pretty sure he researched the fuck out of the Charlie Kirk debate. Now, though, you know?
Down quite a bit here. I think, if anything, I don't talk him down enough. I think that people in my community and broadly still overestimate how much they believe in truth. I think debates against less mainstream figures are pointless, but don't you think more mainstream people with a broad appeal to non-voters have more of a point? I don't know. I don't know what that sentence means. Destiny straight up said when reviewing the conversation I lost by even engaging, hasn't that been like half the debates Destiny has done? Pardon, I'm sure he does a lot of debates and I don't catch them, but I remember he said the same thing after debating Nick Fuentes on Fresh and Fit, where, like, as it turns out, you can't actually have a debate when the opposition is just saying shit about Jews, and the hosts of the debate are also just saying shit about Jews, and you're just sitting there like, and you can say anything, true, false, good, bad, it doesn't matter. There's no relationship between what you say and the quality of your speech and what actually happens as a consequence. It's all just edgy blood sports. It's worse than blood sports, because in the blood sports era of debate, at least during that era, if you got a good zinger, that actually meant something. There was actual winning back in the blood sports days. If you f***ed up and you got your ass trashed back in the blood sports days of debate, you could lose reputation for that. Now it doesn't matter. It's all clown shit. There's no it's a complete nihilism. It might as well be like solipsistic. You scream into the void. Why would I participate in this? It's degrading to the human spirit. I mean, debates are good entertainment. Yeah, and people like Aiden Ross are especially entertaining to.
I would need to see evidence on the Nick Fuentes debate thing, because I feel like Destiny spent way more time talking with and to Nick Fuentes than that. But also, if the takeaway is that a major creator, not a minor creator, a major creator and a sort of like spearhead in that space basically says you probably shouldn't have engaged with this guy anymore because it's essentially bad content and really just an outlet for him to do racism, that's going to be completely contextually different than if you just think of it as, oh, well, I'm going to convince him or his audience otherwise, which is really not going to ever be the case. I don't know why we think that that's a possibility for debate even. If they're just solid and they just want to hear him spout shit, yeah, okay, he's going to do that to a bunch of people underneath him. But now Destiny, having already done it, has basically put it out there, even in just this example that he's providing, hey, pretty much you can ignore him for debate because it's going to be bad content. He just wants to do racism. Okay, cool. Now we know. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, oh, dude, I heard your debate with fucking Destiny. Like, you already got a big platform and you kind of wasted it because you just want to do the racism stuff. Like, aren't you just going to do that if I bring you on too? It's probably going to be a waste of time. I would talk with other people, but you specifically, it seems like it's going to be a waste of my time.
Certain demographics of individuals. I will be entertaining doing things I enjoy doing. That's it. If you think I'm only entertaining when I'm doing a debate, why are you still watching? You've been in a content drought for a while.
Where are people even debating now? I've got the itch and don't even really know which ism is even classifies me this day. Hippy Dippy's coming back, and I am now hosting the Hippy Dippy recruitment show. We got more episodes coming up here in the future. I think the next one's slated for late September. I don't know, Danabo, if you actually happen to be in the audience, you can correct me or post it. But I believe it's the next one's like September 22nd or something like that. It's like mid-late monthly, once a month is going to be the Hippy Dippy recruitment. So even if you want to try to hop in or something, reach out to Danabo on Twitter. He's Dylan Burns' editor and booker, and they're taking new people. The Hippy Dippy recruitment show is about new blood entering the arena. You won't go straight onto the big show unless you're a much larger creator and have some experience, but you can get on the Hippy Dippy recruitment pretty easy. They always need new people, so like reach out for that.
But also, frankly, I think you have bad taste. I was there for my debates. I know what I'm like. I know what they're like, and I know what I'm like when I'm not debating. I think that I'm pretty entertaining across the board. If you're only there for the debate portion, I agree they were good, but life changes, man. You know? Like that, you have to accept that. I thought they were good. Yeah, man, I thought it was great back before I had a lower back injury. That was great.
Yeah, his debate with Midwestern Marks was annoying. The focusing like you're reading your screen, you have a pre-written like thing. Like, well, first off, who cares? What does that change? You know, one of the weirdest debate tactics ever. You're just reading off of your monitor and like reading a statement, and then like Midwestern Marks just like showed his computer screen. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't think anybody did particularly good in that. It was a really bad bit of content, but even I was just like, dude, can you shut up about it? I don't care if he's reading off the screen. I don't know, maybe he's fucking like developmentally disabled or something. It would make fucking sense with how he kind of exists in the world. Maybe he needs to read. It's his fucking like crutch or something. Just let him. I don't give a fuck if he wrote out his answers and responses to questions that you're gonna ask. Just let it. I don't care if he reads them. I literally don't care if he reads them. That's fine. As a matter of fact, I think now if he is reading them, I would rather people read their arguments from now on. If it's responses to specific questions, because if it's going to be faster and clipped and more to the point, they're not going to be like, oh, stuttering and shit. Fine, I don't care. Get to the next point. I remember that debate, being frustrated as shit listening to it.
But it's been a long time. I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying watching debates. At the end of the day, I can only really get invested in stuff that I enjoy doing, and the debate space right now is nihilistic to a point that the thought of engaging with it is genuinely depressing. You know, I hope you all understand where I've never been humbled in a debate. Certainly, I've had ones where my opponent, would it ever be possible for someone like James from Modern Day Debate to present you a debate you'd be interested in? No, my disinterest in a debate is unconditional.
I'm going to move to LA.
And
yes.
Trust me, I've turned down debates that you guys might have thought that you'd be interested in seeing, but I know what the debate space is like. You know, go take a look at Charlie versus Moist Critical. Go take a look at any of the debates that Destiny has done recently. I haven't seen them, but the debate space is the same.
A certain other streamer broke his community off of mine. Was like, oh, he's done. Motherfucker, everybody's taking their last vacation, summer vacation. Everybody's gonna be doing bad.
For him as it is for me. It's the same space. Go look at him. Destiny's got problems, but he do be yapping. He knows how to talk. What are his conversations like? Do they look like they're full of mutual engagement? Do you come away from those conversations thinking, wow, that was a good use of his intelligence, his time? My guess is no. Maybe in some of them, but my guess is probably not.
Dude, anything. I'm. It's not glazing. Destiny's one of the easiest people on the internet to fucking hate. The Anything Else fucking podcast is unironically a pretty solid podcast. I think it's kind of like his answer to like the whatever visitor and like standard type. You know, it's like it's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid fucking thing, and I don't mind listening to it. I would never listen to the Dan guy otherwise. And they've had some pretty solid guests on there. Dylan Burns has been on there. And he has a lot of from all over the political spectrum, even like serious to unserious political type shit is on there. It's a very interesting show.
Probably not. Have you been invited on Piers Morgan debates? Yeah, like 4 times. Have you seen a Piers Morgan debate? Everyone shouting over each other for like 30 seconds of uninterrupted speaking. Then Piers Morgan like rolls a dice on what position he's going to hold that day to maximize the views that he gets for that particular discussion. And if you're like held in poor favor in the dog pile, then like everyone just talks over you. And then Piers Morgan like asks 3 people in a row, like everyone take 1 minute to disagree with the 2 seconds of position expressed by the person. Dude, Vaush, you turned down airtime on live TV. The Piers Morgan, the YouTube is it on live TV? I think that's the online bit. I know he does stuff on TV, but that's a YouTube show. But also, yeah, I would turn down.
Disney's take on Israel is untenable to me. Ever wanting to listen to him speak, perfectly fine. Also, yeah, you are turning down live TV time. Piers Morgan is an entry to that world. Piers Morgan is a direct entry to mainstream media. It's a bridge. We call it bridge. If you don't burn him or close your door on him, there's bridges. Talking to Piers Morgan's a good opportunity. First off, he's like softer than fucking cotton balls. Fuck, Jesus Christ, I almost said the old thing I used to say. He's a soft individual. You're not going to go on Piers Morgan and be pushed particularly hard. It's kind of why it's funny to hear people get mad. Like, dude, Piers Morgan's just completely fucking unreasonable. It's like, dude, he's a effete English pussy. What the fuck are you talking about? You're afraid of fucking Piers Morgan? So you can always go on Piers Morgan. You'll get a little bit of time to talk, a little bit of time to show off, and usually there's other Piers Morgan guests on there. Just talk over them. Takes like 10 seconds. And then you have your ability to show that you can not cuss or say anything lewd or untoward if you just don't do it on a panel show. And then that's a good, they call these clips in the real world too. It's a good clip to make into a package if you want to just say, hey, consider me for appearance on your actual mainstream media show. This is literally how it works.
Time on live TV. What point? You people are incredibly shiftless. When I say I don't want to do debates, why you're like, wow, not even for money? Are you? What are you're weak? Did I stutter? It's not even principled. I just don't think it's fun.
Piers
That's
Morgan
it.
looks like the pigeon
Do
lady
you not
from Home Alone
sympathize with
2.
that? You all have like myopic ambition brain where you're trying to think like, well, I would have simply grindsetted. What do you think I do this for? What do you do, a live TV appearance, not a debate? Well, sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get that offer, but sure.
I think he does not know how his microphone works, and he has no mic discipline because he's doesn't wear headphones, right? So I can always hear when I'm messing up, and so he floats away. I think his editor is just trying to normalize his audio through clipping, and it's just they're boosting it too much when he's talking out away from the mic.
Person wants to come on because they have a disagreement with me. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. In my mind, there's a distinction between a person coming on because they have a disagreement and a debate. A debate carries with it expectations. You are there in a performative sense to disagree, right? But like right wingers never email me saying, hey, I have some disagreements, I want to come on. They say, hey, do you want to come on my show and have a debate? Massive difference between these two in terms of expectations, what's going to happen during it, who's benefiting, who's grifting, blah, 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 blah. If a person has disagreement, I mean, I argue with Chad all the time, right? Like if a person has disagreements, I'm totally willing to talk, even if it ends up turning into a debate because...
No, he's not. It says on his Discord when it's the debate Vaush that literally minor disagreements with lefties, what was it? Minor disagreements with lefties, people that are like experts that want to come on and correct the record about things that Vaush has said all make for bad content, and he's not interested in any of that. He only wants to talk specifically to like racist, overblown righties, racists, fascists, and people who have extreme positions. Like it says that on his "Do you want to debate Vaush" section on his Discord. Do I have that up? I think I'm on his Discord too. Still, hold on. Let's see. I hope they fucking heard me say that it's stupid as shit to have that up there, and he's changed it. Where's the debate Vaush section? Read to debate Vaush. Welcome to Read to Debate Vaush. You meet the criteria for a debate if you are a conservative, right-leaning, fash, have regressive beliefs, or are bigoted in some way, shape, or form, i.e., you believe races and cultures should keep to themselves, and that trans people are mentally ill, support conservative legislature, or simp for right-leaning figures like Nick Fuentes or Tim Pool. 2. You have a specific topic you'd like to debate Vaush on. He will not be the one providing the topics. You must come with your own. Prohibited topics are veganism, abortion, Bernie or bust, philosophical disagreements or discussions, and anything else too boring to have for the 100th time on stream. You are available during a current game stream that is going on. Vaush does not schedule debates ahead of time, so any requests that are sent to @Alden's girlfriend during politics streams randomly when no stream is happening, or any other time that is not at the moment a gaming stream is going on, will be ignored and deleted. Spam requests will receive a block and a ban from the server. That's it. You just have to be a conservative or right-leaning person with a topic, then DM @Alden's girlfriend with that topic and your stance on it during a game stream. Anything else will receive a no, so please stop asking. You must meet every criteria, 1 through 3, above to be eligible for debates, and are welcome to DM @Alden's girlfriend during a game stream to request a debate slot. You do not meet the criteria for debate if you are left-leaning or centrist in any capacity. That's it. No more progressives, leftists, post-lefts, centrists, anarchists, class reductionists, sorry, it's boring, or anyone not substantially conservative. Sick. If you feel the need to DM @Vermin and clarify, don't. You clog up their DMs and waste their time as they look for actual debate candidates. which if you looked at the top part of it, they're not doing, because you only can debate Vaush if you are a absolute hyper righty and it's during a game stream. Anyone who does this will be marked down. You'll be sent an X emoji so @Vermin doesn't forget. And the next time they ask or press the subject, they will be permanently banned from the server. Sorry, rules need to be so harsh, but the amount of time wasted saying no to people and then being forced to debate them on why is ridiculous. 2, you do not meet the criteria. 2, you want to have a discussion with Vaush. He is not looking for discussions or friendly chats with fans. By the way, if you're not as famous as Vaush, you're a fan, okay? You're a fan, you're a fan, you're a fan. So if you want to have a discussion with him and you know who he is and you're not a racist, you're a fan and you can have a discussion with him, okay? It doesn't say that specifically in here, but I'm just telling you, that's the, oh, they're looking for clout, oh, they just want to talk to me shit. 3, you want to educate Vaush on a niche topic or something going on in your country/community. He's not looking to be educated or filled in. He can do the research himself, and these discussions are simply not interesting stream content. 4, you want to come on and thank Vaush or ask him questions. He knows you're thankful and appreciates the sentiment, but does not have the time to one-on-one personally educate people on socialism, anarchism, gender theory, critical race theory, or any other topic you could Google or search through his released videos to find covered in detail many times. 5, you want to personally ask Vaush how to deal with a conservative family member, friend, teacher, or whoever, and learn how to change their mind. He has a video on this, no need to have a chat. 6, you want to personally ask Vaush for advice, how to cope with certain issues, vent to him, ask him some fun Q&A, or otherwise engage in uncomfortably parasocial behavior. Please, don't please. It feels really bad. 7, you want to LARP as a conservative or fash or otherwise troll Vaush during stream. Do not. No matter how funny or well-meaning you are, this will get you an irrevocable permanent ban from the server, site chat, and YouTube chat. This happens way too often and kills any fun or interest in debate Vaush has for the night. Please stop. It's not cute or funny anymore. If you meet any of the criteria listed above, 1 through 7, you are not eligible to come on stream and talk to or debate Vaush. If you find that you still need to DM Vermin and clarify, do not. The consequences for providing are outlined in the first point. I do not think I could have been any clearer with these rules, so if you're still asking for a shot, it's just out of a desire to speak with someone you admire. The sentiment is appreciated, but Vaush does not have the time. This is outlined all over the server. It's still going on. You're going to sit with me through all of this. You do not have an excuse to not have read it other than you were too lazy or negligent. Vaush is only interested in conservative, right-leaning people to have on during gaming streams for debates. It's in fucking bold. It's in fucking bold. Oh shit, I gotta turn off streamer mode. It's in fucking bold. Literally, Vaush is only interested in conservative, right-leaning people to have on during gaming streams for debates. No one else, and at no other time. Thank you for understanding. Here's a more readable document for those who have issues reading what is above, or for anyone to link when someone asks to debate Vaush. The Vaush debate rules Google Doc is there. Here, I'll scroll up just in case somebody with sense deletes this absolute fucking embarrassment. In the meantime. He's full of shit. He doesn't want to fucking debate. This was put in place before the Fortress arc started. It's always been his policy that he wants easy dunks. Literally people he can beat in a debate while he's having a game stream. He doesn't want you calling up mid-time. He doesn't want you trying to correct him mid-sentence. He wants to have an easy-to-win fight while he's not being too preoccupied, and he can say, I was in the middle of that boss fight, and I still pretty much wiped the floor with him. That's kind of crazy. That's it. That's been the grift the whole fucking time. They wrote it on the site. What do you want from me? The dude's always been afraid of actual debate. He can't have conversations. You gotta think I was making that shit up. He doesn't want conversations with subject matter experts. He doesn't want to be corrected in front of his fans from people that know what the fuck they're talking about. He literally only wants to talk to psychotic, fascist, right-wing nut jobs, of which he thought I was one because he's a bigot. He thinks everyone in the military is a fucking, literal neo-Nazi. He only wants to have fucking debates with psychotic, right-wing nut jobs. And maybe sometimes he fucking breaks down if he thinks the person's stupid enough, and half the time he gets fucking dog walked anyway. or people that are famous enough to give him clout. Clout is always the biggest reason. And he's lazy. So if it's clout he even has to work for, he's not going to do that either. The dude's a fucking pussy, bro. He always has been. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
It wasn't the performance.
I wonder if there's been any debate lefties who tried to pose as righties and tried to debate him. I think they take all of those off. I know I've heard him at times, and like when he used to do things like debate fucking the politics, our politics, Discord server. Some people popped in with that kind of shit. The worst thing to do if people think it's kind of funny to troll you by like pretending to be something else, is to be absolutely uncool with the joke and clearly freaking the fuck out because somebody trolled you because you don't have enough like self-confidence to deal with being fucked with for like 5 seconds by a literal clown. Which is why what if Dreg fucking walked him in that goddamn, like, literally by just existing. He obliterated him. I'm Vaush. I don't have to introduce myself, but you're I mean not to be rude because it's my stream, but you're I'm Dreg. Fucking dude. It was like meme grade panic. Like freaking the fuck out, like in front of everybody. If he wants to prove me wrong and debate me, do it. Oh, like literally. Oh, maybe you'll be so good at it, you'll harass me out of existence. Everybody's clout. No, he has every fucking excuse to not debate. Everybody's coming for clout. Nobody's serious. Everybody, dude, I'm just literally fucking saying shit I say again and 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 again on fucking stream. Vaush sounds like my coworker who pulls actually out of his ass, digs in his heel, openly sobs when you call him out, and tries to get you in trouble with a boss if you show your sources. Oh my, yeah. 100%. That's it. Sinigor, just found this dude on my feed today because of his PewDie Pipeline video, and now you're on this channel. What the fuck? I never even saw that. Has to be old. People haven't talked about PewDiePie in fucking like 4 years, right?
Of expectation wasn't set from the beginning. The kayfabe wasn't there, right? You enter it just like, okay, we have a disagreement. That's fine. I think there's a meaningful difference there. I would love to have a discussion about AI. No, AI is the devil. See, that was a debate. How famous does someone have to be to discuss something with you / debate?
Except for,
I used to say
AI is bad except for, AI is bad except for when, AI is bad except for, when, except for when it, except for, so AI is bad except for,
there's no threshold, but the God's honest truth is that
them white goblins.
You guys kind of ruined it for yourselves. It's the same reason we don't have call-in streams anymore. Because if you do call-in streams, like as is the case with people who just want to talk, it's trolls or very parasocial people. Like really parasocial people. I remember with the call-in streams, you would have the call-in debates, especially because people would like fake to disagreeing with me because they wanted to talk, and then they'd start giggling, and it just trained me to hear for when people are talking with a smile on their lips, which I got really good at because I could tell that they were being like, like they were just, and a lot of them weren't even trolling in the sense that they were trying to waste my time. They were just parasocial dipshits who wanted to talk to me but knew they couldn't by agreeing with me. So unfortunately, now you have to be some kind of famous to talk to me because otherwise I'll just assume you're parasocial. I'm sorry, I have a stream to manage here. It's not anything personal.
Yeah, that's cope. That's a cope stream. That's a whole cope thing. Is this Vaush talking about Chapel Roan? I feel like Chapel Roan fucking hate Vaush. Jesus Christ. The whole thing with him being like talking about parasociality is because the dude doesn't set up boundaries because it would get in the way of him making money. Like, you can just say chill. You know what I mean? I think he just doesn't know how to he just doesn't understand like affection, like unwanted affection. And he probably gives people unwanted affection all the time. Well, I mean, we know he does that, like, because he sexually harassed 2 people now. I know he sexually harassed the Poppy woman. Individual. I'm pretty sure Poppy's a woman. But like there's so much of like what he doesn't like about the world is stuff that is immediately things that he has done. I don't like parasociality, and I don't like I don't like the people talking to me with while being insincere. It's like he's constantly insincere in his debates. He does like little mind game things. That's fine. No one cares. His parasociality with Destiny is the reason he is famous at all. Like literally that parasociality. If you listen, I listened to the original, like one of the oldest Irish laddie debates communism or something with Destiny. It's forever ago. I think Destiny's wearing glasses. And he's, oh, well, of course, I think like you as a person are this kind of individual. I think that like, and he's like talking about, Destiny, like, talking like it's just you and me, that kind of shit. Like, so he was just clearly very parasocial with Destiny. Like, just obviously parasocial with him. He has been obviously overly enthusiastic in his appreciation, so to say, with other people in his immediate community. And was outed as a sex pest because of it. Like, all of the things that he is upset about are things that he has hand-waved in his own behavior or ignored, and now is punishing other people for coming anywhere near close to it. Which is kind of just showing like he's just literally pulling up the ladder behind him and punishing people for things that he will not punish in himself. Like it's hypocrisy, it's cowardice, it's selfishness. Like it's insane to me how nasty it is, like that he lives this way and that people permit it. It's just disgusting to me. And he really, there's just nothing that's lefty about him. The closest thing that you can say is leftist about him is he likes to support violence against people that leftists also don't like, but nothing about it's lefty. Like none of it's, okay, so he's actually like practicing what he preaches. He's doing the shit. And I'm not talking about like, oh, fucking socialism is when house. Socialism is when coalition building. Socialism is when building people up. Socialism is not in multiple subsections of your rules establishing class differences between yourself and your viewers / all other people that exist that aren't as famous as you, and saying like literally it's just weird that you're adoring me, I don't want to talk to you, you're putting me out. Like he's actually acting the way the aristocracy did to their deprived masses. People just want to waste my time. It wastes the royal time for you to bring your learned man and speak your wizard words before me. I am having my cake. I only wish to have discussions with my favorite racist jesters while I'm out doing my afternoon painting. I don't want to speak with you otherwise. Get them away. I hate it when people pretend to be the type of people I want to speak with just to gain my royal attentions. It's quite disgusting, and it's perverse, and it's snakish, and it shows you of being of ill breeding, and I don't like it. Do not contact my closest retainers with requests to speak to me. It's too much for me to deal with. It makes me feel lighthearted and as though I have to sit, even if I'm quite busy. Your excessive attentions, your disgraceful attempts to contact me I'm so overheated now, and I just don't even talk to vermin with it. I call all of my subordinates vermin. Get away from me, you thing. Get away from me, you creature. Bring before me only my favorite jesters, and tell them to bring with them their nicest cakes. Sir, a king from another castle wants to talk to you. Oh, I can't be bothered to travel. Across the entire world? No, I don't think so. I don't want to go to another kingdom. He thinks only of how it can better him and not of how it can better me. Only, I think, a person who sacrifices of themselves entirely, who lays themselves out for me should be they should gain my attentions and my favor. I will not go to speak with him. I will sit here. Please bring my finest haberdasher. I wish to be dressed in the finest silks of our time. I have a great deal of money from my admirers, and I know I give some to the poor. I do this because I am generous, and I am good, as you well know, my favorites. I am what you think I am. But now I shall spend some of my favorites' money, the dollars, the cents that were the gold heaped upon me, because I am so kind and wonderful, on fine silks, wondrous, wondrous cottons. From the new world I shall drape them over my shoulders and head, and I will become resplendent before you, I assure you. And then I will go out in the town and have sex with very, very many of the paupers that surround me. These impoverished who, like you, do wish to get close to me. However, if it is one of you, do not approach. If you know my name, I do not wish to hear it when I am out at my masquerades amongst the impoverished and the poor. They do have such dirt beneath their fingernails. It makes me titter. I love the way they do carry on. You know, I am quite good in conversation. I say this because I am often alone and entertained by my own words. I had a conversation with the mirror the other day. It lasted 2 hours and ended with me naked in front of it. How wonderful. But please do, bring my haberdasher. It is time for my silks. He's truly a leftist. One of us. Oh, thank God VGG's High King has come down. Oh, hail the prince. Oh, hail our loving king. He is just like us. May we dress him in his finest silks. Let us take him to the pasture so he may ride his steed amongst us. We are so lucky, us of the VGG. We are so blessed to have him. Oh, God bless the king. God bless Vaush. I clap like this because it reminds him of a horse's hoofs. I do. God bless him. And God bless us all. Jesus fucking Christ, man. That's what you sound like. The entirety of VGG sounds. Oh, he did come. He turned his stream on for us, he did, Gov. He came right onto the TV and he said to me, your landlord's no good. He said it right to my face. I said my landlord's no good, and he said my landlord's no good, and now I know my landlord's no good. It is a blessed day. I'm going to put my gold right in his coffers. I am. I'm going to give him a good sixpence. It's so wonderful to see him. And they say over there at the, over on the west side, those no good geezers, they say, oh, that Vaush. They say, oh, good Lord isn't out for us, but I know he is. Because he said, oh, I don't like them landlords. They ought to be fucking put to the stone. They should be put to the stone. But I know he's thinking of me when he said it. He did. I saw him. I didn't approach him because he don't like it. He's like a flighty bird in his little silks. I didn't want to approach him and make him nervous, but I saw him on me TV today. I gave him a $5. I said, hey, I loves you. I loves you. I loves you. I loves you. I loves you, my lord. I loves you like I do. And the rest of the VGG, we all said, we love him together. It was a wonderful day. A wonderful day with me and me lord. Fucking cringe bullshit, dude. Humiliations heaped upon humiliations. Benjamin paying $200 to talk about foreskins again because Vaush will unban him for money. Absolutely. I don't like it very much, that Benjamin. I don't like that Benjamin. He keeps talking about how he cuts his penis. It's very rough. Talking about cutting his root up. It's a very rough bit of conversation, but our lordship does like him. Our lordship does like him. He came in with 200 fucking gold pieces. 200 pounds he did. He put it right in those coffers, so as long as he's supporting my lord, I say he's all right with me. He's not like the rest of them. Not like the rest of them. They're all fake. They're out for their own ends, I tell you. They're out for their own ends. All of them. They try to just get close to my lord so that they can knock him down. I don't believe any of the accusations against him either. The children, the horses, I don't believe none of it. Thank God for Benjamin, in fact. He's keeping them in the gold. He's keeping them in his silks. Only then will he come out and say the landlord's is bad for me so I can feel good about my day at work. Only then. Then I do say at least 1 hour of my day is for the lordship. I give him my 20, I give him my tenner, and then I get back to it. Because he's going to tell me my landlord's bad. I'm all over the place with that accent. Tyler cooking, unfortunately, it's bangers and mash. Let him yap.